Alright guys, welcome back to the Unprofessional Kitchen, where I show you how to make great food in the average kitchen. It's Saturday morning, so I decided I'm going to show you guys how to make a fantastic breakfast sandwich that would put any fast food restaurant to shame. So today we are making the sausage, bacon, egg, and cheese, which I'm going to dub simply as the sausage breakfast sandwich for the sake of the caption. This has it all. It's salty, sweet, savory, and spicy, and is way too easy to make for you not to try it. So with that being said, let's not waste any more time and get straight into cooking. First thing you'll want to do is sort out what sausage you're going to use. I have here 2 spicy Italian sausages, but there's no rules here. Use whatever you prefer. Although personally, I recommend not using a breakfast sausage as I find they tend to be very salty. We're going to begin by first cutting a slit down the length of the sausage to remove the casing before we weigh them. So, full disclosure, I forgot to write down the weight to use later when it came time to explain this part to you. I'm pretty sure they were about 80 grams each, but either way, it doesn't really matter. If you're going to weigh the total, you'll just divide by the number of patties you want to make to determine how much each one will weigh and adjust accordingly. Add the sausage into a bowl and mix everything together into one large mass that we will divide into the patties. Now we'll start by just separating them into equal parts, and we'll weigh them so we know that they're exactly the same size. Another advantage to doing this that I've mentioned multiple times on this channel and will continue to do so, equal sized ingredients cook at the same rate. By measuring your patties, you can be confident that they'll not only be uniform in size, but they'll also be done cooking at around the same time. To shape the patties, I'm going to be using a burger press, but by all means just use your hands if you don't have one. It's far from a necessity. I'm only using it because I have it, and it does help to ensure that the patties are all the same diameter. Next up is the bacon, but we aren't cooking any old bacon, we're making candied bacon. Line your baking tray with aluminum foil and then place a wire rack on top of it, but please don't skip the aluminum foil step. It will be very apparent in a minute why. Add your slice of smoked bacon onto the wire rack. Start by adding freshly cracked black pepper to the bacon. No real measurement to use here, just use your judgment. Brush on some maple syrup, and I'm from Montreal, so I'm not accepting anything less than the real thing. I don't typically draw many hard lines when cooking, but this is one of them. And lastly, add some brown sugar. Again, user's discretion here. Don't need to cover the bacon top to bottom, just enough where you get reasonable distribution. Now we'll place this into the oven at about 420 degrees Fahrenheit for 10 to 15 minutes. Just be mindful this has a lot of sugar, so keep your eye on it and don't walk away from the oven or you'll risk burning it and setting all your smoke detectors off. And look at that, we have beautifully cooked bacon with a crispy, peppery, sweet flavor. And as we remove the bacon, it becomes incredibly evident why the aluminum foil is so important, so you're welcome. So to cook our sausage, we're going to add olive oil to our stainless steel pan on about a medium heat. And once it gets up to temperature, we're going to place the patties in, making sure they make good contact with the pan. We're going to leave these here untouched for approximately 5 minutes before flipping. Cook for about another 5 to 7 minutes, and if you're a little unsure, you can always use a thermometer. If it reads 160 Fahrenheit internal, you're in the go zone. We'll remove the patties and swap our stainless steel for a non-stick to cook the egg, because I'm not a psycho who cooks eggs in a stainless steel pan. Throw in about half to 1 tablespoon of butter over medium heat and leave it until it's melted and foaming. Then you can add in your egg. As it's cooking, season with a light pinch of kosher salt. As the bottom of the egg white has started to cook, one trick I like to use is to add a very small splash of water into the pan and then cover it with a lid. The heat from the steam created will gently cook the top of the egg so you get a completely cooked egg white without having to flip the egg and risk rupturing the yolk. Now I'm going to be using a homemade Chipotle Mayo, which is a recipe that I've covered in a previous video, so I'm not going to go too much into depth, but I'll link the video in the description below on exact quantities of ingredients. But to summarize, you're basically just adding mayo, lemon juice and lemon zest, garlic, chipotle peppers and adobo sauce, salt and pepper to taste, then blitzing everything till combined and smooth. It's time to plate up, and we'll start with the toasted bottom of an English muffin that will smear with a generous amount of Chipotle mayo, and then we'll place our quite literally perfect size patty. Next goes a couple of strips of our candied bacon, and with the utmost grace and elegance, we'll carefully add on our cooked egg. Next, we'll add our thin cut pieces of cheese. Traditionally, you'd be using American cheese, but I'm using marbled cheddar because it's all I had. With our trusty torch, we're going to optionally melt that cheese, but you can opt out for this if you don't have a torch. And lastly, finish with the top half of our English muffin with another generous smear of mayo. That right there is a lovely breakfast sandwich, but it wouldn't be anything without the money shot to boast. Alright guys, and that sums up my video on how I like to make my sausage, bacon, egg, and cheese. And honestly, I highly recommend you do this, it's fantastic. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, and if you want to see more content like this where I show you how to make great food in the average kitchen, please consider subscribing to the YouTube channel. And as always, if there's anything that you want to see me cook in the average kitchen, please leave it in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.